Hey everyone, welcome back to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by W.GG and Eldridge Air Conditioning. This is race 2 of round 9 of our Sunday Championship. We're with the League 3 guys, and the championship is really hotting up now with Harry Poppins leading the championship just ahead of Scotty, Mick and Frowny, and a few guys missing it as well, so some good points to be had from the guys on the track. We went through that in race 1, so I'm not going to do it again now. We're at Trial Mountain. We're in the Sierra Nevada in the USA, and 2.47 miles, 15 turns, 3 tunnels, and one of the tunnels has got one of the longest straights in there, just under a mile long at 0.83 miles. So some great overtaking opportunities to be had. Now, we only had 7 on the grid for race 1, but it looks like we've got a couple of drivers back for race 2, so they got their visas cleared just in time for race 2. So let's have a look down the grid. It is a reverse grid. So Fazer is now on pole. Pete is in 2nd. Wayne G is 3rd. Enzo Jack is 4th. Frowny is 5th. Scott is 6th. Harry Poppins, winner of the last race, is 7th. Then we've got Dizzy Rip and Aussie Rooster just behind him, who have just joined. They missed race 1, but good to see them back on the grid for race 2. So we'll get this race underway. Rolling start as always. And it's a little bit lighter out there. This is, I think, a sunrise race, so hopefully it will start to get a little bit lighter. Not quite light enough that you don't need your headlights yet. That's why the guys have all got them on, but it should get a little bit lighter as we go along, as Faze takes us into turn 1. Everybody snaking around turns 1, 2 and 3 with him. Into the tunnel at turn 4 we go. Fazer still leading from Pete. Wayne G in 3rd. I'm expecting a little bit more from Wayne G in this race. Now the other thing is there's going to be a pit stop in this one. Mediums and hard tyres have to be used for a minimum of 2 laps. So a bit of strategy comes into this one. Fuel rate is a little bit higher as well. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping that Wayne G has got his head in gear ready for this race, because it's always nice to see him up at the front, putting the other guys under pressure. Enzo Jack sitting there in 4th as we go down the tunnel. Everybody slipstreaming everybody else. Frowny in 5th. He's got Scott just alongside him. Scott had a great race in race 1, just missed out the Harry Poppins on the last lap. Frowny in 5th, then Scott 6th, Harry Poppins 7th, with Dizzy Rip and Aussie sitting there in 8th and 9th, just getting a feel of this track. Now we'll have a look at the tyres, shall we? So P2's out in front, he's on the mediums. Then we've got Wayne G, he's made his way up into 2nd already, he's on the hard tyres. Fazer on the mediums, Enzo Jack on the hards, Frowny also on the hards with Scott. So a lot of the guys are actually choosing to go with the hards for the first stint. Now I did say in race 1 you have to be very careful with the pit entry on this one. It's at a bit of an awkward spot, and it's easily missed when you're concentrating on the race. Yeah, it could be very easy to miss it, and also pick up a penalty as you come out of turn 13, I think it is. You have to immediately get to the left. But we'll see a little bit later on in the race. Who's that just making a move there? It looks like Enzo Jack has just gone up the inside of Fazer. Turn 4 is a good move from Enzo Jack. He's now put himself up onto the podium and into 3rd position though. Fazer sticking with him. Let's go on board with Fazer as we go around turn 7 through the short tunnel. Then it immediately throws you into the left. Oh, a bit of contact there between the two of them. Both still moving though. That's going to allow Scott to go. You can see there he is. Scott is just edging ahead of Fazer there. Now it is just a drag race between these two. down to the bottom. Phaser just picking up a bit of a slipstream from Enzo Jack, which has enabled him to keep going as we go down into turn 9. All 3 wide. 4, almost 4 wide as we go around turn 9. This is more like it. This is what the crowds like to see. A good old battle. Phaser in 5th, then Scott still in 6th, getting frustrated. He would really love to start pushing through the pack early on. He is on the hard tyres, but even so he would like to be up there in amongst the leaders, ready for the stop. And you can see people already diving into the pit lane, so they didn't miss them. Enzo's in, Frowny's in, Scotty's in, Harry Poppins all in. They're all on the hard tyres. They've done their 2 laps. Pete on the medium, so it will probably leave the medium runners, apart from Wayne. Wayne, he stayed out there as well on the hard tyres. He's going to go a little bit further into this race on those hards. Although all the other guys think that they can finish this race off on the medium tyres. Phaser, he's on the mediums as well in 3rd. Dizzy Rip in 4th. And then Aussie Rooster, he's another guy on the hard tyres, has decided to stay out for a while, so he's now holding 5th position. Enzo Jack on his way out of the pit lane now in 6th. Brownie will 7th. Scott is going to be 8th with Harry Poppins in 9th, and all on the medium tyres, so we will expect to see those guys catching up with the rest of the pack, especially when they all come in for the pit. But we'll keep an eye on the times. Talking of times, Pete has currently got the fastest lap at 2:01. I'm sure that time is going to come down though when these guys get going, get those tyres warmed up. But Peter had in front at the minute, got a nice little breathing gap back to Wayne G. Wayne G having a great race actually on the hard tyres, so doing really well to hold on to 2nd. Then there's a bit of a gap then back to Dizzy Rip in 3rd. He's got Phaser and Aussie Rooster chasing him down, so a couple of car lengths between each of them. We're on lap 3, or coming towards the end of lap 3, so still good way to go in this race. These guys obviously will take the tyres and the fuel as far as they possibly can. The ideal situation would be probably to get all the way to lap 10. You can see Wayne G and Aussie Rooster, the last of the hard tyre runners, are into the pits then. So Wayne G there. Phaser goes through to 3rd. So where is Enzo Jack? Enzo Jack just coming around turn 13, past the pit lane entrance. We're currently in 6th then, so Wayne G and Aussie Rooster still sitting in the pits waiting to have them tyres changed. They're not even at the pit crew yet, just arriving now as Enzo Jack crosses the line, so he now moves up into 4th. No, Wayne G is out. Wayne G has got out of the pits just ahead of Enzo Jack as Enzo Jack catches him up at turn 1. Oh, that was a great pit stop for Wayne G. Rejoins in 4th on the medium tyres. Now they are cold. Enzo Jack, Frowny, Scott, Harry Poppins have all got their tyres are 1 lap older, so therefore warmed up. But a great pit stop for Wayne G to rejoin in 4th, knowing that the guys ahead of him have got to pit. So this is more like it from Wayne G. He's now fending off Enzo Jack, Frowny, Scott, Harry Poppins. This is going to be a great battle between these guys. What we got there, 5 cars all slipstreaming each other. The only one not getting the slipstream, unfortunately, is going to be Wayne at the front. Let's jump on board with, let's go with Frowny, shall we? As we can see, Enzo Jack having a bit of a look at the inside of Wayne G. Wayne G decided not to defend this line. So Enzo Jack, oh, Wayne G shoots across. I think he was looking for the old switcheroo there. Didn't quite come off. So great move from Enzo Jack. Oh, and Scott's is it Scott? Yes, Scott's there as well. So 2 wide into turn 10. Still too wide. let's jump out so we can see what's going on. Harry Poppins is in there as well, so it's a fantastic battle opening up between these three. Scott in 7th, Harry Poppins in 8th, as they all line up one behind the other again as they come down towards turn 14. Scott having a proper look up the inside. Oh, Harry Poppins in there as well. Now then, he's glued to the back of Scott. This is pretty much a carbon copy of race 1, where Harry Poppins was stuck to the bumper of Scott's car for most of the race. But this time around, Scott has got a bit of a slipstream from Frowny just ahead of him as they come up towards turn 1. So Harry Poppins couldn't get any closer. Scott, well, he couldn't get any closer either. I think Frowny is picking up a little bit of a slip from Wayne G just ahead of him. And then Enzo Jack in 4th. As Harry Poppins looks like he's going to go around the outside of Scott there, but no. Or is he? Scott just holding on to 7th. Harry Poppins really putting the pressure on. As we come around turn 7 into up to turn 8 and then into the tunnel, and the slipstreaming will start all over now. Who is going to make the move? Harry Poppins pulls out very early, maybe a bit too early. I think Scott has got the slipstream from Frowny in front. Yeah, he has. I think Harry Poppins had to pull out very early, but he's going to stick to that line. So Harry Poppins has got the inside line as they come towards turn 9. On Scott, now can he get it done? Scott going the long way round. Oh, a little bit of a touch there. Nothing too serious. Scott manages to hold on to 7th. Some great racing between these two. They are both 1 and 2 in the championship as well. So loving this challenge they are. Loving the battle. Let's go back up to the top and see how they're getting on at the pointy end. Pete is out in front. He's got quite a decent gap as well, actually, and he needs it though because he has got to make that stop. Dizzy Rip, he's on the mediums as well. He's in 2nd. Then we've got Phaser sitting in 3rd. So these 3 guys yet to stop. And then we have Enzo Jack leading this group of, I think it's 5 cars at the minute. So it's Enzo Jack from Wayne G, Frowny, Scott, Harry Poppins, and then Aussie Rooster having made his stop. He's quite a way off at the minute. So we'll go back up and see what's happening with this group. We'll stick with this group for the next few turns. With the pop there. So Enzo Jack then holding on to that 4th position. Wayne G in 5th. There's a bit of a gap now opened up between Wayne G and Scott, so I think Scott might just be out of the slipstream of Wayne G's car. Frowny and Harry Poppins, however, are not, so you can see Harry Poppins there. There is no bump drafting allowed, so Harry Poppins has had to pull out and make a move, otherwise he would have been pushing Frowny along. So down the hill in towards turn 9. Frowny's got the inside line. Harry Poppins going to go around to the outside. Still sitting there in 8th position though is Harry Poppins. We are halfway through this 2nd race, so we've still got 6 laps to go, 7 laps to go, well 6 after this one, and this is where people will start to think about making their moves. Remember, the 3 guys up at the front have not pitted yet. They're hoping they can get to around about lap 10. Where are we? We are starting lap 7, and Pete has just got over half a tank of fuel, so he's looking okay actually at the minute for fuel. Same with Dizzy Rip and yeah, Phaser, so they're all looking okay for fuel, so they should be able to make it to the end of lap 10. The thing is though, they need a decent gap, which they've got at the minute, but I'm not so sure it's enough. You're going to need around about 45-second gap if you want to come back out in the position that you went in on because that's about the time it takes you in the pits. It's about 45-50 seconds in the pit lane. So these three guys up at the front really do need to try and stretch that gap as much as they can. Excuse me. So Wayne G now with the fastest lap, 1:59.8. Now he's on to the medium tyres. That was his last lap, so the tyres are up to temperature, and has now put in the fastest lap. Enzo Jack, he's in the 59s as well. Scott still sitting in 6th, with Frowny and Harry Poppins in 7th and 8th. So championship leader at the minute, Harry Poppins, sitting down in 8th. He will not like that. He needs to start making his way through the grid and get himself up there, at least into the top 4 or 5, if he wants to secure the championship. I mean, if he wants to secure the championship properly, he's going to have to get the win today. But that's a big ask at the minute from 8, with only, what, 5 laps to go. So as they cross the line, yeah, there will be 5 laps to go. So yeah, if Harry Poppins really needs to think about making his move now. Aussie Rooster, well, I think he is catching, but it is all very slowly. So maybe go for the fastest lap for Aussie Rooster. That's what he should be concentrating on now. We're back up to our race leader, Pete. All on his own. Ran a good race so far, as Pete. Not really done anything wrong, no mistakes. And he's got quite a gap back to Dizzy Rip, who in turn has got a gap back to Phaser. And although Phaser has got a decent gap back to Enzo Jack, I don't think it's enough for him to come into the pits and rejoin back in 3rd. I think that chasing pack with Enzo, Wayne, Scott, Harry Poppins and Frowny, I think they will be able to get by the guys in front of them when they pit. So it's going to be interesting. I think they're going to be the 3 leaders at the minute, Pete, Dizzy Rip and Phaser. They're going to be coming in over the next couple of laps. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as Wayne G tries to apply the pressure onto Enzo Jack. Scott sitting there in 6th as well. Harry Poppins in 7th. These guys all just glued to the bumper of the car in front of them. It's such close racing. This is fantastic stuff. The concentration levels must be really high in those cars. The sweat must be pouring off of them. Harry Poppins now has got that job done on Frowny and has moved up into 7th. So is this where Harry Poppins starts to make his moves? As we come around the final turn on lap 8, onto the start finish now, they're all within the slipstream of each other. So let's just see what's going to be happening here. Wayne G tries to break the slip of Scott just behind him, but it's not happening as they go into turn 1. And all through there very safely. They're making that turns 1, 2 and 3 look very easy. Into the tunnel then. Scott, I could see him just having a bit of a look at the inside of Wayne there, but Wayne G slammed the door shut and says, "No way, my friend, you are not coming through there." So Wayne G really is having to defend hard against Scott, which is allowing Enzo Jack just to start edging away from him, which is not what he wanted. So Wayne G really wants to concentrate on the guy in front, not the people behind. Again, this is where the defending has got to come in, but the guys don't really seem to be that bothered about doing it. You can see they're all sticking to the right, they're all staying on their racing line. Maybe they feel they don't need to defend, as Wayne G has a look at the inside of Enzo Jack. But stay as they are. Scott still sitting in 6th, Harry Poppins in 7th. This really is some fantastic racing. Now if we have a look up at the top, these guys have carried on. No, somebody's come in. I think it's Phaser. So Phaser's decided to come in. Now where will he come back out? This is the big question, and I think he will end up coming out somewhere around about 8th or 9th, because these guys are all going to go flying by the pit exit. So Phaser, the crew are waiting. He's not even there yet, and this is what I say. It's so annoying. And there you can see Phaser already down into 8th as the big group go by. Now Aussie Rooster just coming around the final 2 turns. So come Phaser, there we go. New boots on, and let's have a look. Where is he? Aussie Rooster just about to cross the start finish line. So can Phaser get out ahead in 8th position? And he can. So Phaser rejoins in 8th with Aussie Rooster in 9th. Although Aussie Rooster is on the medium tyres, so he has now got somebody to go out as Aussie Rooster. Phaser's come out, he's on cold hard tyres, and you can see that Aussie Rooster has caught him up almost immediately. So this could be a great battle for these two over the next 2 laps. Phaser's desperately going to try and get some heat into those tyres. But I just think Aussie Rooster's going to have the edge. He is on worn mediums, but they are going to be so much better than those cold, hard tyres that Phaser's got on. You can see that Aussie Rooster is already all over the back of Phaser. Surely he's going to make the move as they come down this straight through the tunnel. Jump on board with Aussie. You can see the slipstream really pulling Phaser in. So yeah, Aussie Rooster moves to the left. There's not much Phaser can do about that. So from 3rd to 9th goes Phaser, and then the next 2 are in. So Pete and Dizzy Rip are both in to the pits. Now then, it's Wayne G that's got himself up into 3rd now. Now Wayne G goes past the pit entrance, so again I think this group are going to overtake, and Pete and Dizzy Rip are going to end up somewhere down around about 8th. As Wayne G goes around turn 15, this is more like it from Wayne G. We're used to seeing him up there on the podium. Harry Poppins now sitting in 2nd. Scott in 3rd, so apologies we missed those moves as Harry Poppins and Wayne G have made their way through to the front. Scott is in 3rd, and just as we said, you can see Dizzy Rip down in 7th. Peter's come back out in 6th, but the guys that made the earlier stops are out in front. Now then, Harry Poppins has decided he's going to have a go at Wayne G now, with 2 laps to go, including this one. So Harry Poppins really putting the pressure on Wayne G. So Harry Poppins wants to secure the championship, doesn't he? As they go through turn 8 into the long tunnel now and head on down the hill. Scott still sitting there in 3rd though. Scott is picking up the slipstream from both Harry Poppins and Wayne G. So how close can Harry Poppins get? Can he make the move before they get to the end of the straight and turn 9? It doesn't look like any of them are interested in doing it. Harry Poppins starts to move to the left, but Wayne G shut that door on him. Scott is in there as well. He is right up the rear end of Harry Poppins. So these 3 just starting to pull away from the rest of the pack now. Oh, it really is a question of how long can Wayne G hold on. Really is soaking up the pressure from Harry Poppins and Scott in 2nd and 3rd. So around turn 15 as they head towards the line for the final time then, and start lap 12, Wayne G out in front. Dizzy Rip still in the pits, so he's obviously got a bit of a problem. So Wayne G then for the lap 12, the final lap. leads us through turns 1, 2 and 3. Harry Poppins sitting there in second, Scott in third. So that's how the podium looks at the minute. But we have still got about another 2 miles of this track to go, so it can all change. You can see how close Scott is. Let's jump on board with Scott. We're desperately trying to find a way past Harry Poppins and Wayne G. Harry Poppins keeping things nice and tight, not really showing any gaps to Scott. Again, nice tight line through turn 8 and into the tunnel. Now Scott into the slipstream, but so is Harry Poppins. Wayne G now, he's defending now. Wayne G has made it very clear what he's doing. So Wayne G takes the inside line. Harry Poppins goes around the outside. Scott decides to follow Harry Poppins. Now it's 3 wide into turn 9. Who's going to come out in this one? Come on, cameraman, catch up. Scott in third all the way around the outside. Harry Poppins in second. Wayne G just got his nose in front, although has he? No, Harry Poppins has managed to get it done just as they enter turn 10. Great move from Harry Poppins. Wayne G trying to defend that line, just couldn't hold on. So Harry Poppins now steps up. Fantastic racing from him with just 2 turns to go. Wayne G and Scott still not giving this one up though. We're just going to stay with these guys to cross the line. So it's all about the exit. Harry Poppins is off and running and he's celebrating. The lights are flashing, so he knows he's won this one. Well done to him. Harry Poppins then across the line to take the win. Wayne G second, Scott third. Frowney comes across the line in fourth. Enzo Jack will take 5th. Pete, he will take 6th. Then Aussie Rooster will finish in 7th. In dramatic style. Phaser across the line in 8th. With Dizzy Rip. We're not quite sure what happened to Dizzy Rip. There was a bit of a mix-up, I think, with the tyres or something. I'm not sure, but Dizzy Rip across the line in 9th. That was race 9. Join me next week for the final race of this season, round 10. I'm not quite sure where it is. It is going to be a random track, but it is going to be an endurance race, so really looking forward to that one. Harry Poppins pretty much got this championship sewn up now, so the fight is on to see who's going to finish in 2nd and 3rd. So look forward to seeing you there. If you've enjoyed these races, please remember to hit the like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, if you could do so, that would help me out and I would really appreciate that. Look forward to catching you all next week.